And so when I look at how the blend is behaving, like this lower edge of the blend or the upper end of this blend here, I think this is more like it. So that helped a lot. Actually, there's something else I already know, is that my tail is too wide also. The tail, the body should go further in the back because it needs to be thick where it supports the fins of the surfboard, but after that it should thin out considerably. So what I think I'm going to do is same thing, adjust the top area. But instead of just adjusting this top curve, I'm going to reduce the overall height of the tail. So I'm going to bring this upper edge down. And that's this guy right here. That's the height of this guy in the layouts, specifically the tail layout. Go right here. Right now it's 30 millimeters. I'm going to jump all the way down to 15 directly and stop recording for the recompute. And here we go. Let's look at it together. Okay, I've considerably thinned out my tail. And so the question here is this curve still behaving correctly from the center to the end? Because I don't want to create lumps in here. So let's look at it on the primary surface right here. It looks fine. I'm going to look at it in more detail on the blended version. See, I'm looking in here in this progression. Because I've reduced this, did I make bumps in this area? Okay, I'm going to look at the highlight travel across this area. It looks fine. I'm seeing the highlight build up on here. Okay, let's get the highlight really strong in the center and then rotate towards the tail. Strong, 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 strong. I didn't see anything as it was fading in, and now I'm going to pay attention as it fades out. Okay, I see the tail darken a little bit, and now I really see the tail popping out at the end there. I didn't see any lumps or any extra weird curvature pop up on the deck from the center to the tail. So I'm pretty happy with that change. What I was worried about was that I would have to adjust the heights on this curve if they had gone down too far. It's because the layout, what's happening at the tail moves with the tail layout, but what's happening in the center moves with the center layout. So if I had something good here and I drag this end down, I could end up with something going up and then down and then back horizontal. Some kind of an S shape happening in here, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So I'm happy with that. Now let me focus a little bit on the entire rocker and the entire shape. I'm going to go to full screen. So the question I'm asking myself right now is this bulging too much in the center? If I select both of these faces and I look at the curve coming here and throughout, do I have an extra bump in the center? Because this line right here on the upper rail looks good. This rail looks good. Maybe I don't need to bump up so much in the middle here. I think I'm going to do that. Get out of this guy, go to my center layout, and reduce the curve up above it. So it's not the patch layout, although they don't hurt to see. It's in the section sketch 3Ls. It's this guy right here. Is this too much in the center? It's going up by 15. I'm going to reduce it to 7.5. See you after the recompute. Okay, just recomputed. Let's look at it again in the right view. Let's go to full screen. I'm looking for at this middle curve here. A tiny little bump in the middle wouldn't be the end of the world to give it extra body, but it needs to be reasonable. This looks, I think I'm okay with this. See, this right here is going back up. I'm looking at I don't know if you can see it for after YouTube compression, but I'm looking at the aliasing right here. And I see that this curve is climbing towards the center right now. But the nice thing is it keeps climbing on the other side as well. It doesn't look overly thick to me. So let's look at it without the lines when I just look at the whole thing. The bottom foil is fine, but is it too bulgy in the center here? Maybe, but I don't hate it. I think I'm happy with that. I'm happy with thinning out the nose, with thinning out the tail. I thinned out the center a tiny little bit, but I only thinned it on the deck. I did not modify my rail thickness. I'm happy with that. There's no reason for me not to be happy with my nose because I haven't affected it, but I'm just going to look at it just to be safe. And on the tail, I have an idea. And the idea is I don't want to add 3D curves to this, but I don't like that it ends up being so square with a dead spot, with a clear aerodynamic dead spot in the back. I'm going to try to cheat, and I'm going to cheat by angling the entire layout. By angling the entire layout this way, I'm going to turn this dead spot into an aerodynamic shape. It's going to roll around this area. And then I'll give this a lot of curvature here, sharp on the bottom, a lot of curvature here. And so this back face will become a foil face instead of a dead spot. It's this guy right here. It's the attachment offset. It's at -15. I'm going to go -30. Okay, I just did it. That gives a little bit of an idea of what I'm trying to do, right? I'm going to try to curve around this, and this will be the trailing edge. This will become part of the curve, and this will be the trailing edge. And I'm doing it on the top because I want to preserve this perfect curve along the bot for my bottom rocker. I say perfect. It just happens to be the bottom edge right here. So that was okay. To go along with that, I said I want the bottom rail sharp and the upper rail soft. So I'm going to go to these cutting points right here. So remember, these guys only have a single blending cut. They don't have a rolling corner. So this right here, this red one, defines the size of this blend, and the lower one defines the blend on the rail. So you see they're a little bit hard to click on right here, but I'm going to give it a shot. Please let me select my point. You know what? It doesn't want to. I'm going to hide the surfaces. These are all links, by the way. You know what? I'm just going to hide this guy as well. I don't care. This one right here right now is at 0.4. I'm going to reduce it to 0.25. It just updated. I go straight to my blended surface. Did that sharpen my bottom rail? It did. Right, there's a lot less transition space on the bottom here. Is it enough though? When I look without any lines, do I see sharpness? A little bit. It's not crazy sharp, but it is sharper. Ooh, there's a problem here. I think I know what it is. I think when I put this solid together, I had created the surface for this corner one too many times. So I need to hunt it down and delete it so that it disappears from this solid. Okay, so it's one of these in my roll corner surfaces. Final surfaces, roll corner surfaces. Let's open that. There should be 8. There are 9. Let's find it. We know that it's one of these two. Okay, so that's the second one. If I hide that, I see, yeah, there's another one hiding underneath it, and it's 15. Okay, so I'm going to delete 15, and that should fix this guy. I sure hope so. Delete. It affects a link that's in the final surfaces view set, and it affects 2 solids. Okay. It's thinking. Okay. A link to a cubic surface, that's the view link in here. I can safely delete that. I look back in here. Now I should have. I should have just my 8 surfaces. That's what I see. They are all 8 of them are distinct. But I'm really curious if it actually updated the solids from the surface workbench correctly. It seems so. I no longer see the black nonsense on top of this guy. I'll save that. And back to what I was doing, which is I have reduced the blend on this side, but it's still pretty sizable. And remember that I can't freely change this dimension here. So if I want to reduce, if I want to make this blend sharper, I can only adjust the size of the cut in the vertical direction. But it will sharpen it. So here I am. I'm looking at this point. I've already reduced it to 0.25, but I see that it's still very far away from the corner. So I'm going to go all the way down to 0.125. And let's see what that did. Yeah, okay, so that's going to be much sharper, right? Because even though this side is long, when it blends, it still points at the original corner, in a way. So this is nice and sharp. I can see a distinct foil shape on this rail here. And if I wanted to have a different curvature here, that would be the job of these curves, which these curves are still completely generic. We haven't done any work on them, and I'm probably not going to. But I have sharpened the lower rail. Let's go ahead and make the upper rail even bigger. What that means is that this blend here will increase in size. This blend here will reduce in vertical size, and the double blend will increase in size. Let's do it. Now that I've pulled this guy here all the way down to 0.125, this guy here, instead of being at 0.6, I'm going to bring it down to 0.4, let's say. It's going to jump down here. And here we go. I'm cutting out the recomputes, by the way. I don't have a magic formula to keep quality high and get fast reactions. Okay, now I'm getting what I want. Very sharp blend on the bottom, and I've accomplished this even though I don't want to mess with the size of this guy because I want to maintain my rolling blend as it is. I can still sharpen the bottom and soften the top. See? Sharp on the bottom, soft on the top. I might work on it again someday, but right now I'm going to say that I'm happy with the curves overall and I'm happy with the overall structure. The only question that's left is how much can I blend away the center so that how sharp can I make this tip? I'm going to hide this guy. Because I want to look at this. How much can I reduce the middle here? Remember, this is going to travel all the way to the tail, and that's fine. I'm okay with the tail being narrow. All right, so this is I'm gonna hide this guy, and just work on these two. This guy here, 0.75. I'm looking at it upside down. This is 0, this is 1. So at 0.75 here, I'm going to take it back to 0.6. And now this guy here, 0.4. Okay, let's take a look at it. Ooh, yeah, I think I'm liking this. I think I'm okay with that. That's my tip right here. Let's turn everything in the view sets back on. This, wherever it is, can hide again. I'm okay with this. And I'm okay with that. Take one final look at my primary surfaces by themselves. And I would say, yeah, there's some odd stuff happening in here, but I know why I did it. I'm pushing curvature to the center of this guy so that I have curvature left over after I blend. I've done the final pass on my layout positions. Oh, this here isn't messing with me zooming. I've done my final pass on my layout position. Final pass on my 3D curves to bring them within reason. I have eliminated the belly buttons and restored true outside corners in these areas, because in this case I'm not willing to deal with belly buttons. There are times where it's worth it. I have checked the rocker, both bottom rocker and deck rocker, from beginning to end. I have also thinned out my nose transition. I've left a lot of body in the middle. It even has a little bit of a lump in it to increase the body. I don't know if that's good or bad. Maybe that's bad, but I'm leaving it on purpose. And so I would say that I am done with my curves and I am done with my cut points. The last thing I have to look at is potentially the tuning of some of these final surface grids. The blended edge grids and the final corner grids. What does that mean? It means that for each of these blended edge grids, I want to check the progression of what was done automatically in this progression, and right now it looks fine. And in the corner grids, especially the ones for the rolling blends. See, for the normal double blends, the default values of the subgrids and the double blending grids end up very reasonable. This bright pink here progresses very nicely from one end to the other. But in the case of the rolling corner, the default values almost always leave this odd corner here. See, this guy here, this point here should really be kind of aligned with these guys, but it jumps out. And the reason for that is the subgrids. Specifically the roll corner subgrids. The way they're created by default, this edge kind of looks like this edge, and this edge here kind of looks like this edge. It's just a default value. In this case, we have adjustment parameters that allow us to move this point over to here and make the grid a little bit better. I'm going to make a separate video about that, because the truth of the matter is, for this guy, I couldn't care less. Whatever the impact of that point is on this double blend grid, it is not affecting me in any negative way whatsoever. I just can't see a problem anywhere with this.